So if you don't know how to model in Roblox Studios, then I'll show you. First, you gotta, go to Roblox Studios. It's the thing that it's ROBLOX Studio. Yeah, you gotta get that installed. And then you click New, because I don't think you'll really have any games, except like your starting game or whatever. And then you can click which one you want. But for today, we're gonna do the base plate. Not the classic base plate, the new one, because the lighting's better or something. So, your layout right here is gonna look different from mine. Let me get that out there. Basically, making models in Roblox Studios. Here, let me get out a model. Are like things like these. Like, look at this McDonald's restaurant. Okay, includes 6 scripts. This is a model, as you can see right here. It's like has a bunch of stuff. Fries. And there's like, yeah, it's a model. I can't really explain what models are. I mean, like, they're like things that have parts in them that make up one big thing. And this one's very detailed, as you can see. And yeah, that's what a model is. And so first, to make a model, you need to have parts inside the model. So this step is probably the hardest. So you've got to click this button right here. It is very hard to click. Yeah, see, that was the hardest step. But in a more serious note, you just spawned in a part if you're following along or if you're just watching. This is a part. Now it's going to look like this, but you can this is a part you can move it around by drag clicking with the right cursor, not the cursor, the right mouse button. And in a starting base plate, you will have all this open land, not land. I'm going to say all of this open, what is this called?
Few minutes later.
Space. And you will also start out with a spawn location. Now the spawn location is, as the name suggests, is a spawn location. You spawn it. If I click play, it's a while. And if I click play, I will start playing the game. Walk around, and I can just walk around this very vast and empty area. Now we're going to change that today. Today, we are going to make a model, and I'm going to show you the basics of making a model. So you put in your part, and you always want to anchor a part. So, like, basically, anchoring a part means that, like, it won't move around. So here, let me unanchor this part and then anchor this part, and then let me play. So then, as you can see, these are 2 parts. This is the one that's anchored, and this is the one that's unanchored. Let's see what happens with the unanchored one. Wait, I think it's the other way around. Whoops. So yeah, this is the unanchored one. Wait, they aren't moving. Okay, so now that I'm back in here, I'm going to make this one like scaled up. So like if it like when I come in contact with it, it's gonna like fall over. Cause last time it was too small to be noticeable, like moving. So yeah, now let's see. This one's unanchored, and oh, it's wobbling. Oh, it fell down. So yeah, that's and this one. Oh, it stays up straight. You wanna know why? Because this one was anchored and this one was unanchored. So basically that's what the difference between anchored and unanchored. Basically, like, one can move and one can't. And so let's get out an anchored part. Also, if you want to get a different part, you have to click this little thing right here, like on the bottom of the part thingy, this little triangle, and it'll give you with a block. It'll set you out with a block, a sphere, a wedge, and a cylinder, all of which are pretty good, pretty neat. Also, if you want to like select a bunch of things, then you can like drag and then like make like a big bubble thingy. It's not really a bubble, like a square rectangle thingy. So like you can select a bunch of parts at a time. I'm gonna put this back block. And so basically, if some of you have maybe noticed, not a lot of you, but at the base plate can't be interacted with. Here, let me show you what else. Oh, let you hear it. Yeah, I can't interact with it. I mean, you can click to the Explorer, which here, let me actually show you. Go to View, so you can like see, like have your layout like mine, and click Explore, Properties, and Toolbox, because those are like and also Terrain Editor, because those are like the 4 main things that you want open, and then you can arrange them however you want. Like you can place Explorer over here, and then like when it gets blue, they'll like go in there. But I like Explorer over here because it just makes it like a rectangle. It's really that appealing on the eyes. I don't think that's really how you use the word, but yeah. So basically, the base plate, the Explorer is basically this thing where you can see it's like a list of things. Like you can see the part right here. Click this. Oh, there's the part. And so basically, the base plate, if you click right here, it shows that you're highlighting the base plate, but you can't really interact with it, and that's because it is locked. So go up to the bar and click the lock button. And this is really just for like people that are kind of picky about, I don't know how to describe this, but locking basically makes it so as you can see, this little lock icon is like locked. But if I go to the air, it's unlocked. Basically, how locking works is if I click the base plate, now it has an unlock symbol. Click back on lock, and now I can actually select the base plate without having to go to Explorer. And so yeah, that's what unlocking and locking does. You can still click on it in the Explorer and get to it, but if you want to get to it quicker, you usually want to click on the part. So if you want to get to it quicker, then you should probably unlock the parts. But I'm just gonna keep that locked because it's, I don't know, I just like it locked like that. And so basically, here is how you actually make a model. So it requires an Explorer, so if you haven't gotten that open, you have to. And as you can see, got our 2 parts, very nice parts. And you go to the Explorer, and you highlight both of the parts by doing the same technique that we did like in Studio, where we can like highlight multiple parts. So we go like this, you get both of those parts, and then we right click, shows a bunch of stuff, cut, copy, duplicate, delete. So we want to do it, we want to do group. You can also do Ctrl G, but I just like to right click and then click it, click group. Hey, look, now you have a model, your very first model. So basically, this is a model now in game. Now, models don't stick together. Here, let me click run. Also, run, yeah, as you can see, they don't stick together. They kind of moved around, as you can see, because they aren't anchored. And even though they are in a model, they aren't anchored, and like they aren't together, so they won't stay together. Model just means that like you can like click them and both of them will get highlighted, even though they can still move in like different ways and like it won't like move with each other. It's kind of confusing, but yeah. Also, that function that I used, not really function, that thing that I just used right there is called the run feature. So like if you want to see something happen, like maybe let me move this part up here and I'll show you how to use these things right here. But maybe like I want to see what would happen if I unanchored it, so I just click the run button. As you can see, it falls. You can't really do anything with it. I mean, like you can move it, but you don't have like a character that's actively there that like you can push it. But yeah, you can like test things out that maybe don't need a character to get tested out. And now with a part, I'm going to show you how to use these things here. These modeling tools. Basically, the first one, select, and that's the one you probably had this whole time. Select a part by like holding and drag clicking it, and you can just move it around. The next one is move. This one's pretty handy. So like if you wanted to select this, so if I wanted to like make the block go to the sky but it won't go up, you use the move tool, and now you have these 4 directional ways. so it can go side. Whoops! It can go side to side. It can go like other side to side, and it can go up and down. Also, you're probably noticing right now that yours isn't like going as smooth as mine. So if you want it to go as smooth as mine, go to the model section. There's a bunch of things here. I'll explain what they do in probably another video. But your move right here is probably going to be like a 1. And if you want it to be as smooth as mine, then you set it to 0. Or if I were to put it as 1, as you can see, it's going to move like in studs. But I kind of would like it more smooth, so I'm going to do it to 0, so it's like no studs, and I can just go freely. Anyways, so yeah, the move tool is pretty nifty. But if you want to like actually change like the model, like if you want to like morph it to something else, you click the scale tool, which is basically the move tool, except, well, you can make really the part however you want it to be, like big part. And like if I get like a cylinder, I can make it a really long cylinder, and I can stretch it out like this. And in case you're wondering why the cylinder doesn't like stretch out in both sides, that's because you have to go up and then it'll start stretching up, which is kind of weird, but you get this whole engine and you're gonna complain about that. I wouldn't. So yeah, basically that's the scale tool. It's pretty nifty. You can scale objects there and there. You can get a move tool, except instead of moving, you scale it. And there's the rotate tool. Kind of self-explanatory. You can rotate stuff. All these are kind of self-explanatory, really, except select. And so yeah, you can move it to whatever you want. And if I click run right here, it is going to fall down. It's not going to keep its shape because, yeah, it's just going to fall down like that. If you're expecting something else to happen, I don't really know what we were expecting. So yeah, but also as you can see right here, there's just like little square thingy. So if you click on it, like I click left, it will show you like I click like here, front, top. So it'll give you like views. Like if you want like a straight top view, then you just click top, and then you can like do like the what is it called? The angles. And then so then like you can look like that. On also the corners, you can get a corner angle if you wanted to. But yeah, that is that. And so now I'm gonna anchor this part, I'm gonna scale it, and now comes like the cool part of coloring it. So as you can see right here, if you hover over this thing, it says material. Select material and add to apply to parts, and there's the colors. So I colored up and apply to parts. So if you click this color, it'll just be like this grayish, but it's already gray. If you want to change it to another color, click the same arrow as we did for the part. Now I've got a whole selection of colors. Like I can make this one bright green. I can make it dark green. I can make it kind of blackish, because this one's like full black. I can make it brown. I can make it yellow. You get the idea. But yeah, that's how you change it to color. I'm just going to change it back to the original one. And the material is basically the same, except it's not the same like layout, and there's different things. Like right now, I can make this into metal. Diamond plates. I can make it corroded metal. I think that's how you say it. That's a weird word. Yeah, I can make it to concrete, cobblestone. And as you can see, like if you like scale it out more, it'll like self adjust itself. So like all angles of the part will have that texture, and it works for any texture. Like ice, I go to ice, and it self adjusts itself. That's not very noticeable. It's like grass, it's very noticeable. It self adjusts itself. And yeah, I'm gonna get a nice like greenish glass, I guess. And now on the topic of glass, you know how glass is usually see-through? This one is not really see-through, but that took a while. But if you want it to become, if you want this to like become like, if you want it to become kind of see-through, then get out your properties and in view, and go to and click on the part, and now you've got this whole selection of things you can change it to. Like you can change the brick color from here, actually. you can change. There's a cast shadow feature. I've actually never used that before. So like if you wanted to cast a shadow, you can if you wanted, but I don't really think does class cast a shadow. I'm not gonna Google that right now, but yeah, I'm just gonna make it cast a shadow. You can change the color, like in like a spectrum, like with like numbers and stuff instead of like the built-in one. And you can change the material. So basically everything that's up here, but I guess maybe you could say a little bit better. Oh yeah, and also, since I changed the color from here, it's not gonna like change my color up here. But if I click this, it's back to the green, the lime green. And yeah, now we're back to the part that we're wanting. So there's reflecting scenes. So if I change it to 1, we're gonna reflect the sky like a bird. We're gonna change that back to 0. And 2 things. If you can click the back arrow to like change a mistake that you wanted, and it goes back as far as like to like the beginning. I don't want to go back to the beginning. And basically, yeah, and then after that, it goes as like this. So reflectancy is 0. That's like with no reflectancy. But 1 is reflectancy. So like in between 1 and in between 0 and 1 is like the decimal numbers. I kind of forgot how to pronounce that. And like you can like get into like 135 and stuff like that. But yeah, we don't want to set that for reflected because I just kind of want it to be like its own color. I guess I'm gonna click back on player, and now we've got transparency, the one we've been waiting for. So now you can either do like write down the decimal number, or you can use it on this like scale. And just like as last time, 1 is the highest that it will do. I mean, you can go higher, like I could go like 22, but it's still the same as 1 because like higher than 1 is the same as 1, I guess. And I kind of want to make it a shade. I kind of want to make it a 4.5, and then I'm going to change this color to no, that's way too bright. Well, dark, I guess. And now we've got a nice glass, and I'm gonna I've anchored that already. Make sure to anchor parts because it gets really annoying. Like if you're like, wow, I'm gonna test out my new model, everything just like falls down because you forgot to anchor it. My friend does that a lot because there's this thing named Team Create that I'll show you if you in maybe another video. And my friend always forgets to anchor, which is very annoying. But enough about him. We got not some glass, we got a glass panel, I guess, and we can like scale it thin. Well yeah, and then now we can maybe like try to make a house like this with our newfound knowledge. So we can oh yeah, also a nifty trick is you go curl on your computer and then hold curl and then click D, and then take away, and now you've got a duplicate. Go boop, 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 boop. Oh goodness, it's getting all so chaotic here. Anyways, let's just delete all that. We don't want that many glass panes. So yeah, I'm gonna duplicate this to get the same size. Actually, let me place it back here, and then I'm going to move it. You know, this is a good part to change this to 1 stud. Because if it's 1 stud, it won't like go like all like smooth. It'll kind of like move in like a pattern, so like, it will stay together. It's hard to explain, but yeah. Now that it's like in the studs, we're gonna. Oh goodness. So now if you're gonna change from 1 stud to like 0 studs, make sure that like it's aligned. Because sometimes if you change it from 0 to 1, because like 0 is like all it's all you can like move freely, and 1 is like actually you have like rules. It's going to mess you up and it's not going to align. So let's get 1. I think I aligned it with the studs, hopefully. And yeah, I aligned it with studs. So now I'm gonna try to make a house. So I'm gonna make a brick house. You can do whatever you want, but you can kind of follow along. So you can kind of get like an idea of how to make the house. So I'm gonna use this one stud thingy, and I'm gonna kind of make that place kind of thin, and then I'm gonna go up with the glass, and I'm gonna remake the glass thing because I accidentally. Well, I didn't accidentally because I'm not aligned with the studs. So now time lapse. It's pretty good, I guess. Not too shabby. I mean, there's not really any flooring, and there's not much space in the furniture. But hey, I'm kind of just trying to show you what I did with the models. And there's two things I forgot to do actually. One is that look at all these parts. This video is about like making a model, not making a big mess in your workspace. So I'm gonna put this. Oh, there's something. Oh, I don't actually see what's this. Oh. How'd this get under here? I think it happened while I was like duplicating the glass, but sure. Yeah. Okay. Tip. If you're duplicating glass on a large quantity, check underneath the void, I guess. But yeah, that was really weird. So now we're gonna group all of these together. Also, something that's cool that you can do is like if there's like something out in the workspace that you accidentally did put in, you can just drag it and put it in there. And so basically, like I said, this is my house, so I'm gonna turn it to this spawn point, like I told you how to do it with like, the R buttons, and I'm gonna play. I'm gonna go to my house. Oh. Now can anybody tell me what my problem is? One, is it that I did not anchor? Or two, is it that the game just hates me and I'm not a good modeler, so they just decided to break my house? If you chose B, then that's correct. Just kidding. If you chose A, then that's correct because I forgot to anchor. Like I said, you want to anchor because stuff like that happens, and it's kind of funny because it just all comes tumbling down. It's not very funny when like you forget to test your game, you release it to the public. Oh hey, look, the map's falling apart. So yeah, another interesting thing about models is that you can click anchor, and it anchors every single part in the model. As you can see, all of them are anchored. And another thing is that you probably want to name your model, because like if you have like a whole city of these things, well not really a city, whole town of these things, if like you want to find like a specific house in your workspace, you probably want to name it something. So I'm going to name this house, which is very straightforward. So like if you have two models, you'll know that this one's the house and this other one's whatever it is. And so yeah, let's click play and let's test my house now that it's fully can go through the door, but I can't go through any of these other bricks. So yeah, this is the inside house, not so much. Also, there's a roof, very cool. But this is the final, I guess, like thing I'm gonna teach you in this video, unless you watch my other ones I've done. So let's ungroup this, which is something really cool you can do. You can click ungroup underneath the group button. So now all these are back to the parts. So basically, this is the final thing I'm going to be showing you in this video. Is if you played around with the properties a little bit more, you'd probably know this. But scroll down a little bit more. There's the size. Basically, you can do the same thing as these buttons, except in here. I would recommend using these buttons more. But as you can see, there's colorations. Now, see this part? It says can't collide and can't touch colon. Now, what's different about this part? Can't collide's off. Now, what can't collide means is that can't collide makes it so you can go through the block. But because the block's anchored, it's not gonna like fall through the floor. It's going to stay there because it's anchored, but you can go through the door because it is not can collide. Also, can query, I have no idea what it is. I think it got in the new update, it got added in. I have absolutely no idea what it is. But can touch is also another thing. It's basically can touch is let me explain it. So it's basically for like more like for scripters. Cause like maybe like you had like a script that like required you to like touch something, but like you still wanted like the player to be like actually be able to touch it. So let me rephrase it. That was really confusing. So it has like can collide. The part has can collide off, but you want the player to touch it to like get something happen. You click put can touch on. So that the player, even though the can't collide off for the part, if the player like goes through the part, it will see that, oh hey look, it'll still like say stuff, I guess. And if you were hoping for a scripting video, I'm not a scripter. I can barely script. Well, actually no, I can't script. So yeah, go watch like an album talk video or something. But yeah, that's like the basics of not scripting, building really.